Directors.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, September 22nd, 2016. This is your award-winning Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 862.
This is No Agenda.
Bringing back the art of reporting from the crowd and broadcasting live from the capital of the Drone Star State here in Austin, Tejas, FEMA Region 6. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I don't see much enthusiasm from my part, but I see a lot of traffic. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
What do you mean no enthusiasm?
Well, I don't have the enthusiasm you have. You're pumped up today.
I'm always enthusiastic. Look at my life. Look at my life.
This is way up there.
Look at my
You're
life.
off the scale.
No. Look at my life.
Your life. Okay, I get the joke. All right. There's no reason for enthusiasm.
Okay. I was up late last night. Of course.
Okay, why?
I was watching the live coverage. Does it get any better? Live coverage of riots in Charlotte?
Oh, Charlotte. I'm glad you did that because I paid zero attention to the Charlotte thing.
Oh, wow. This is very interesting. In order to really make the most of it, all three cable news networks were live on the street. They had guys on the street. It was fantastic. There was... I watched CNN, a lot of CNN. MSNBC was okay, but Fox really didn't have. But CNN really did a very good job. A lot of funny bits. As one reporter, some guy, he's reporting, guy comes over, body checks him to the ground.
Yes, I did see that. I can't say that was too. Yeah, it was all over the place.
But let me see. I had what did I have here? I have okay. So I have to say that my favorite piece was...
Why don't you give a little background around this for people or might be,
right.
In Germany, for example, that don't know what you're talking about.
So we had another police shooting of a black American. And immediately it was, he was unarmed. This makes no sense. It's, cops are killing everybody without any information really about what was going on. And there were so many different shootings. It's like it was almost confusing. What happened? Where was it? And everyone just got really super pissed off in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I mean, it's black, white, everything all mixed through each. Everyone was pissed off. Although I did notice
women are involved.
I wanted to. This exactly took the words out of my mouth. Black women really at the front line, and they all. It's very interesting when you look at this. It's almost as if everybody wants their stance in front of the police, the front of the riot police, to be kind of like the life photo of the year. You know what I mean? Everybody's got some kind of pose, some kind of thing going on. It was I don't know. Everybody's filming everybody else.
Yeah, I know it's out of control.
Yeah, and of course the sad thing is we really don't know exactly what happened. So this may all be. I mean, it doesn't mean that people aren't pissed off. That's still, I understand. But you just can't go out and just riot the whole time. And it was rioting this time, big time. And smashing and looting, came to that eventually. But the cops were using tons of tear gas. They were using flashbangs. They were using. Oh, that's actually interesting. I was watching a little bit of Fox. Here's Megyn Kelly had a guy out on the street, and here was his report.
There are explosions of all varieties. There's tear gas canisters being fired. There's also very loud concussion grenades and flashbang grenades, which make a huge flash and a loud explosion designed to chase the crowd back, which certainly it has been effective. There have been...
Now, did you hear what he said there, how he corrected himself?
Yeah, plenty. Oh, no, just tell me.
Oh, he said the flashbangs was used to push the crowd back. No, they're meant to terrorize. You got it right the first time. Terrorizing people. So Anderson Cooper had a pretty good bit on, and it would just keep going back to this one guy live down on the street. And I just figured we listen to that for a moment because it kind of got me to itch a little bit.
Okay, let me. I'm sorry, Cedric. Let me just bring in Boris. Who's just right here. Boris, what's going on?
Hey, Anderson, they just started shooting tear gas. The crowd of people broke up, and we are running from the scene. So there were agitators that were getting pulled in by police, and a couple people started sitting down, but police grabbed one, and that's when everything just went out of control. You can see police are trying to control the situation, but there's tear gas everywhere. People started launching the tear gas back at the police. Oh, man. Anyway, Anderson, so reinforcements are in. You can tell police are trying to grab people and bring them behind the line. But again, things escalating very quickly.
Here it comes.
Describe the scene again to you. So there were 2 lines of SWAT teams lined up by the Omni Hotel. Hey, watch out! There's gas under you! Get out of there! There are more cans of tear gas getting thrown into the street right now, Anderson, and we're trying to get out of the way. So there were 2 lines. Oh, my eyes. Anderson, I gotta send it back to you.
All right. So what we were.
I love that.
Well, this reminds me back of the first Iraq War.
Oh yeah. When they were
CNN had all these guys.
Peter Arnett was
just one of many.
Yeah. Hey, but I love doing this, and this was a more show than I think people realize, and I can back that up in a couple of ways. Because it's a show, we've got something going on. It's a great show. Now, we, of course, are good at that, obviously. If you want to give it a shot.
Give what a shot? Oh, do our own thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You need to toss it to me, baby. You need to toss it to me.
We need some music, or we need some sound effects that you have back at...
I have sound effects. I don't have music. I don't have
He's on the scene in Charlotte. I think he's with us right now. Adam?
Yeah.
Adam, you there?
John, can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah, well, we see tear gas here, and there's all kinds of flashbangs, and there's things... John, can you hear me? It's really bad here. Oh, no, it's out of control. I'm going to send it back to you, John.
Wow. Adam, be safe.
Be safe. One of our producers was watching the live stream of I don't know which station it was, and he so when they cut the TV feed, the live stream kept going, and on in fact you'll hear on the TV version of this clip, there was only video, no audio. However, here we go. However, our producer clipped this, and well, just listen to it, and just listen to it
again. So that cleared out the group of protesters from the street. Right. We don't know what that was. If that was a flashbang, or if that was more flashbangs, more tear gas. Let's just take a listen here to what's going on.
Okay, now was a little hard to hear, but you're going to hear his producer talk to him, and the producer's going to say, okay, we've cut, it's only video, the mics are dead, and then, of course, the recording continues.
Your mics are dead, pictures up only. They're telling us the battle right now. That was great. Dude, literally it blew up right over your shoulder.
Did you hear the producer?
Yeah.
Dude, that was great. It literally blew up right over your shoulder. Awesome. And that's it.
That was great. Dude, literally it blew up right over your shoulder.
Fucking amazing, dude. That was great television. I mean, that's how they're thinking. They don't give a shit about what's going on.
You'd be doing the same thing.
Well, in fact, we're not even on the scene and we're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Come on. What are you talking?
Which always begs the question, why do you bother going to remote locations? Just fake the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which I think more and more is happening in that regard. But
well, yeah. And of course,
today's green screen technology is too good.
Well, especially because it's blue screen. Now, I discounted the first time
they dropped blue screen. Nobody uses blue
I'm sorry, green screen. You're right. I discounted the original video that was posted and sent to me 100 times that says, look, Hillary's on green screen. She's not really there. And if you look closely in the cell phones.
A bunch of these, yes.
But I saw a new one.
Okay, well, let's give people some background on this. This is a meme. I wouldn't call it a meme, but it's kind of like a meme. It's a videos going around showing that, or hoping to convince you that, and it's possible, that some of Hillary's speeches are staged. There's nobody there, and then they put a phony audience in front of it, and it's all things pieced together.
Yeah.
Now, until they start, normally in these situations, when you see these, it used to be done a lot with photos. You'd see a duplication of people in the audience. I've yet to see anything like that to actually prove this. I mean, all they've done so far is show close-ups of phone screens.
Well, there's a new one, which of course makes no sense to play because the audio just gives you no clues. And it's from a different speech, and Hillary's in front of a flag, and all of a sudden she becomes digitally distorted while the flag does not. In fact, at one point for a couple frames, she completely disappears from the shot, and then she's back. Could it be doctored? It could be, but I looked at the original video footage, and there it is. Or at least the online original video footage from ABC.
It's on ABC. You pulled it from an ABC site?
Yeah. It's really short.
Better than the ones I've seen.
Yeah. No, listen, I've been we didn't even bring it up. I'm like, okay, fine. It's also another thing, the crazy eyes video from Hillary. Let me tell you exactly what that is.
I love that crazy eyes.
This really bothers me that people don't understand. This is what happens when you are reading teleprompter. She has a screen on the right, screen on the left, and a big screen at the back of the room. And she's turning her head, but she's continuing to read. That's the only reason. I mean, she may have issues, but that crazy eye look, that is just teleprompter's too far apart. It's not exactly done well. And that's all it is. Did you see anything different?
Well, I retweeted one of them, which I thought was the best one, which was the...
it's not that they're great. There's no doubt about it.
No, they're fantastic. Her eyeballs going every which way. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of still photos, and those are easy to doctor. I mean, I can do that. I can do that kind of work. And but the ones I've noticed that were kind of disturbing to me and didn't show their eyeballs going every which way, but it's just that her eyeballs themselves look like she had some weird contacts on or something.
Oh,
It made her eyeballs look unusual.
Well, she's not wearing her glasses, so maybe she has some special kind of contacts, even with the Polaroid stuff in there. So I did get a couple other... you want to go into like election stuff? Or you want to talk about the bomber?
Well, I don't have that much on the bomber.
Oh, I got some stuff on the bomber.
I do have one clip on the bomber. The election stuff, I'm pretty much, today's show for me is going to be
I know what it is.
This America, and also I listened to the hearings for Mylan Drugs.
Yeah, I listened too.
They were extremely entertaining.
Very funny.
And I am actually I would be surprised. I mean, that woman would have to be a very cold-blooded creep.
Just let me explain what that is. There was a hearing, or there were a number of hearings. This is the Mylan CEO, the woman who has been running Mylan. They make the EpiPens, which was been a big controversy. Of course, they're being singled out. And I was doing some other things. I was listening in the background, and I don't know what clips you have, but what got me was the people like Eleanor Holmes and what's the grumpy old ass's name?
Well, let me think.
Yeah, really hammering like, well, how much profit does that make? How much profit? It's not that simple to say this product makes exactly that much profit. And then how do you justify your salary? It's like, come on, people. It's like all I'm hearing is. And I totally agree that the pharmaceutical industry is messed up and we have a lot of problems. But this was just grandstanding, making this woman look shitty.
Eleanor Holmes, I mean, give me a break. What do you expect from her? She's no good.
She's not even allowed to vote.
Yes, she's not even allowed to vote.
She got a big mouth for someone who's not allowed to vote. I met her. Remember, I met her when that anti kind of climate movie came out, and I watched it in D.C. at the screening, and it turned out to be more like a pro-Obamacare thing.
No.
Yeah, well, she was there. Yeah, she's creepy. Well, do you want to?
That's not the clips I have are just the ones that I like. I like them when they excoriate the witness and try to make him feel bad.
Let's do that.
I was going to say that I would be stunned if this woman wasn't in tears after this event, because they just, I'm going to say it, hammered her.
Yeah, they did.
Or better, butt slapped her. To an extreme.
I wasn't ready for you.
Well, I gave you the little pre-cue.
I know.
Yeah, let's get that.
There you go. Sorry.
That's the short one.
Yeah.
This woman. Okay, let's go. I got a bunch of these clips, and I expect. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to start. Let's go with EpiPen. Let's see. We got this is the one. I thought was the best. There was a doctor, a representative of Tennessee, and he's a doctor, and this little EpiPen Tennessee doc. If you had to listen to just one guy, this would be the one.
Rate, which is, we took the unprecedented step of putting the generic in to sidestep that and be able to lower the cost.
You're doing everyone a favor by charging 3 times what you acquired the drug for as a generic. You're trying to make us feel good about that. I just don't. I mean, I'm not buying your argument.
And sir,
do you have a guilty conscience about any of this?
Over that period of time, putting it in public places, giving free 700,000 free EpiPens to 66,000 schools, and wanting to get it into all of the public schools across America.
Well, if it cost $20, they could afford to buy their own. You wouldn't have to give them to them. But instead, you chose to jack the prices up and then somehow make everyone want to feel good about you by saying how much you do. Bottom line is you took a very inexpensive drug and you profited handsomely off it. And I don't have a problem, like a lot of my colleagues, that you can make money in a free market enterprise. But what I do have a problem with as a physician, when you take drugs that are life-saving drugs and people don't have a choice, they can't go to a different department store to get their tie. They have to have that drug because a mother would cut off her right arm to get that dose of drug. You decided to charge $600 instead of cutting off her arm, and now you're saying you're dropping it to $300, and that should make us all feel better, when in fact that's probably about 10 times what the drug should cost. And I understand you got to make some money, but you can really sit there with a clear conscience today and say that that's okay, and you just decided because you're such a good company to cut the price from $600 to $300? I mean, is that your testimony?
Congressman, we want everyone who needs an EpiPen to have an EpiPen, and we're going to continue to
lower the price so they can afford
access.
It. Are you going to lower the price so other people can afford it?
We believe that all.
Oh man, how do you sleep at night? I heard it all. It
was great. Well, let's get. I only have 3 of these clips because these I thought were the best.
But just what also was. I mean, I understand the grandstanding. But really, this was like an un-American conversation that was taking place here. They're pretty much saying, you should not make, it was like Noodle Boy. You should not, you can't just make profit. No, you can't have a profitable company. I don't think it ever, and she made a mistake of not talking about marketing cost. Because these guys are like grocery store businessmen. Well, if you buy it for $50, if you make it for $50 and you sell it for $600. To be honest
about it, I watched the whole hearing, and I think there was only some of that, and it was just. And I think Eleanor Holmes,
she did it, yeah,
one of the worst, but she doesn't count.
Okay,
and there was a couple of other guys, and they were generally Democrats, although the Republicans butt slammed her too, and it wasn't an issue of just making money; it was an issue of a monopoly practice.
Yeah. Which is true, of course.
And that's a different type. That is not that's actually verboten in a capitalist system. And so
exactly but I didn't hear anyone really focus on that.
But again, they were taking advantage of a situation because they had a monopoly status. In fact, one guy, one of the Democrats who was giving it to her, pulled a Columbo.
He did it like one more thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's slamming her, and then he says, "Well, let me go to because the FDA guy was there who was useless. He had nothing to say. He was just a bonehead, and so he's going to go to the FDA guy, and then he turns back." I watched it as soon as he did it. It was like, wow, this is very Columbo-esque. And then he kind of condemns her amongst her peers in a very strange way, and I think actually that this is the EpiPen Boston guy who makes the argument that she's doing everyone a favor with this testimony.
Just because you've gone up $200. in the overall price, the top price, and you're still only making $50. I just can't understand that. The numbers don't work. Based on the documents you've given us.
So, sir, the 608 is the wholesale acquisition cost.
Yeah, we've done that dance. We've done that dance. I understand that.
And then it's approximately $50 of profit off of the 274.
Mr. Throckmorton, let me ask you, Ms. Bresch, do you do business with the VA? I know it's a different population, and the EpiPens are usually for kids with allergies, but...
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, what's the VA paying?
I'm not sure of the cost, but I know it's...
They have the ability to negotiate their own drug prices.
Yes, sir.
It's a hell of a lot less, I bet.
Yes, we've had a...
So maybe that's what we ought to do for Medicare and Medicaid and everybody else. Let them negotiate their own drug prices directly with the pharmaceutical companies. That's what I think should happen here. That's really what I think. I think maybe it was not your intention, but I think you might have helped Congress get around an issue by showing the blatant disregard you have and disrespect you have for people who desperately need this medication. And you talk about expanding the ability for people to have the EpiPen. People in my district can't do it at $608. Can't do it. And a lot of those people don't have discounts. They're regular middle-class people. They don't have that.
Sorry to interrupt. Wasn't part of the problem that the Affordable Care Act insurance companies would no longer cover the increase, or the copay became too high? Wasn't that part of the problem where this initially kicked off?
That is part of the problem, and they have to be on a list. And apparently, most of their a lot of their profits are going. This was brought out in the conversation. A lot of, I think, by Chaffee. A lot of their profits were thrown at lobbying to get on the list.
Right,
so
right.
Then you have to copay it. In other words, the insurance companies have to pick it up. And I think that was their gambit from the beginning, was to jack the price up, which is what I talk about on the show all the time, about how you get on the certain preferred list, and then the insurance companies have to pick it up. You could jack the price up, and a lot of drugs that are common have been doubled and tripled and quadrupled in price because it just gets picked up, and the end user, the person with the insurance, they don't even notice it. They have the same $5 copay or whatever it is,
right? And
the gouging is going on in the background, which raises the prices for everyone. And this is, by the way, this guy who's talking about bringing this back up into Congress. This is all leading to single payer. So if we get
I agree.
These drug companies are going to get screwed. You can thank this woman.
Well, we will. Let's play. You want to play the rest here of this?
Yeah, the rest of it's good because I like it.
I like it. I heard this part too.
Discount. And Medicare Part D, their increases, I know the access went up by 164% since you bought the company from Merck. But the cost increase are up 1,151%, based on a study here that I have from Juliette Kabansky and Tricia Newman. I want to enter this for the record without objection. This is it's disgraceful what's going on here. But I think, in a way, like I say, you've done us a little bit of a favor here by just showing you what's wrong with this system, what's wrong with our healthcare system. I think it's disgusting. I'll yield back.
No, I agree. I think that was part of the mission of this grandstanding. Also, there was a little bit, if you take it in combination with Elizabeth Warren with the banker guy. It was also like FU rich people, FU millionaires, which I think is a subtle dig towards Trump as well. The timing is interesting.
It might be. It won't be anything compared to the subtle, not so subtle dig at Trump on the Miss America pageant.
We'll get to that. I can't wait.
Now, this is the last one, which is another one of the Democrats that is kind of just giving her crap. But he does ask an interesting question that nobody else asks. He asks it right at the beginning, which you'll hear, and then he just goes on to excoriate her. And again, I just don't. I'd have a hard time believing that that she didn't cry herself to sleep that night.
These seizures. Have you ever seen an individual have a seizure?
Due to anaphylaxis?
Yes.
No, sir.
Well, it's not a pretty sight. And look, modern medicine has advanced in a way that's beneficial to patients. But to have companies like yours take advantage of this situation, take advantage of these people who are really in need of this medication, I think it speaks to something that is that we are better than that. And I would hope that corporate America, that the pharmaceutical industry is better than that. I mean, look, in the last few seconds, tell me what, how do we get to this point that we have a culture like this in corporate America that wants to stick it to consumers?
You know what I'm surprised by? Where are the women saying, hey, you're treating her differently than you treat a male CEO? I'm like, they were pretty harsh.
Yeah, I thought so, but they get harsh with everybody. I've watched enough of these things. She was actually so robot-like with her. Yeah. Oh, we had unprecedented this. She used the word unprecedented probably a dozen times to describe her $300 generic version of the exact same drug.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. It was, I thought, quite funny. And that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of giving her crap.
In other big pharma news, producer Corey Lane alerted me to something and I believe we've talked about this in a different context, the Mitragina speciosa tree. Did we talked about this? This is the tree found in Southeast Asia, and you can create kratom from it. Kratom. Kratom. You familiar with kratom?
Is that a drug?
Well, kratom.
No, I don't recall any of this.
Okay. Kratom is the word used for the leaf material of the Mitragina speciosa tree. I'm sure I'm murdering that. Kratom has a 1,000-year history of medicinal use in Southeast Asia, and there are an estimated hundreds of thousands of Americans that use kratom to treat their medical problems. It's easily accessible. It's cheap. Some people can use just like $1 a week's worth to treat symptoms of different ailments.
Like what?
Well, it's in the report that I have. And there's this very specific reason why we find out now that in just, 8 days from now, this product will be banned by the DEA, and it will become a Schedule I drug, equal to heroin, equal to, of course, marijuana, which is laughable. And here's a report that I found, which I think sums it up nicely. What's going on?
We begin with a little-known drug that some use for pain, others for recreation. It's legal, but only until the end of this month.
It's known as kratom, and those who use it are fighting the ban.
That's right, Mark and Dee. The substance will soon be a Schedule I drug, meaning it has absolutely no medical value. But some that use it claim kratom can be taken as an alternative to pain medications and even to heroin.
Kratom. It's a legal substance sold on the internet and locally, but soon to be outlawed and classified as a Schedule I drug. The stuff will only be on shelves for 10 more days, leaving users without.
Most people definitely use it for pain, depression, anxiety, PTSD, restless leg syndrome, fibromyalgia.
Kratom hasn't been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and it's labeled not for human consumption when sold. Christopher Diotis began using the substance after a painful car accident and claims the drug helped him kick his dependence on strong pain medication.
Now, this is the real kicker, I think, what this guy's about to say. And I have done a little research because it came in last night, but I believe this to be true.
The first day I took it, I didn't wake up with any cold sweat anymore. I got off the oxycodone right away, didn't need anything else, and I got back to my normal life literally within about 6 days.
According to the Drug Enforcement Administration, kratom is a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia. The DEA has reported several cases in which the substance has caused psychosis in users, in addition to other dangerous side effects.
Kratom can have some opioid effects, which are similar to, they create a sense of pain relief. But on the other hand, it also has these stimulant effects, which can cause people to have a really high heart rate and
She's a
can also
nurse,
cause them to
obviously.
have really high blood pressure.
Users like Diotis argue that the drug should be researched more before being thrown into the same category as other Schedule I drugs such as heroin, ecstasy, marijuana, and LSD. His signature is one of 130,000 on a petition urging the government not to ban the substance. Whether claims of kratom's health benefits are true or not, the drug will no longer be sold after September 30th.
The DEA is citing an imminent hazard to public safety as the reason for the ban. I spoke with several smoke shops around Boise, all of whom declined to be on camera, and they told me I would be surprised by the amount of kratom they sold on a daily basis.
Okay. And Corey has promised to send me some kratom so I can try it out, which I'll do, for the show, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
And I have some standing. I can evaluate the drug. Now, so the media
don't do the show on the drug.
Well, it depends how good it is. So the media is reporting this side of the story, but what is actually happening? The DEA is making two alkaloids. It's the mitaginine and the 7-hydroxymitragynine. I don't know how to pronounce this. The two of these alkaloids are being turned into Schedule I drugs. And they're using the DEA's emergency scheduling provision, which eliminates the requirement for a public comment period. And also reduces their enforcement.
What's the rush? This plan has been in business for thousands of years.
Well, I would say this has to do with the trial drug MGM-16, which contains these very two alkaloids, which is, of course, if it's not already, is a patentable drug. Oops. So the DEA, I guess, is now law enforcement for Big Pharma.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that's what was implied. That was kind of implied on the hearings where the DEA guy wouldn't answer a lot of stuff. It got all shaped. Was all bent out of shape about much of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody brought there may be something like there's at least a dozen. It could be as many as 1,000 people trying to get EpiPen type products into the market, and they all get refused.
Yeah. But that's the FDA.
It's like
that's
working for Mylan.
Right. So that's the FDA
on behalf of Merck, probably.
It's really unbelievable.
It's outrageously corrupt.
And it's a Schedule I drug. The FDA hasn't even tested it. The DEA is saying, "Oh, this is so dangerous. We got to take it off the market immediately." But maybe
so dangerous. We've never heard of it.
Yeah, beep, beep, beep. Maybe in the background.
It's so dangerous that I'd say 95% of our audience has never heard of it.
Never heard.
Which means the public has never heard of it. Yeah. So how's it so dangerous?
And you can't even weigh in on it because they use their fast track system to get this Schedule I outside of the FDA.
This is terrible.
I'll say.
It's just gouging the American public left and right.
Well, it's not just that. The main thing that I thought was great from that report is the guy says, "Well, I was on Oxy and I started taking this. Within 6 days, I'm done with that crap." That's a big deal.
Oh, we can't have that. We have to keep everyone strung out.
No, no, we cannot have that. This is very wrong. Yeah. So anyway, I'll be trying that, and hopefully maybe by the weekend or next Thursday I'll be able to bring a full report.
Well, it's still legal, so you can try whatever you want.
Yeah, until the 30th. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. All right. Anything else from the?
No, I think that covers that.
That covers that one
pretty well.
Let me see if I had.
I have.
Just in medical news, I did have one little report.
Yeah.
From we identified this a long time ago. You recall I was talking about the, what was it? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Mechanics Bank just called me. I don't know why they're calling. That's usually a bad sign. No idea. What was I talking about?
Why don't you go answer? We do it live on the show.
I already hung up. We talked about the Americans with Disability Act regarding websites that are not compliant for the blind. I
know what story you're going toward. This is terrible.
And we predicted this would happen. Harvard and MIT both sued because they are not ADA compliant with their online courses, their online content.
Hold on a second. University of California, Berkeley. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
There's more than just those two.
Oh, it's going to be rampant, and so the lawsuit is over. Actually, one of the easiest things to fix. They say, "Oh, your videos don't have closed captions," and so they're suing them. It's trolls.
Well, they're getting sued, and this means that the Khan Academy is going to be next, and it's going to be more than just.
Oh, the closed caption. Oh, it's going to be the wrong color. You don't have alternative.
There's all kinds of things, issues. And so this seems to me to be an attempt, again, I don't know by who or why. I don't know what the point of this is, because all it does is take free learning off the internet. So people can't get any, instead of getting any free learning, now you definitely have to pay these high. You have to take out government student loans.
Exactly.
And go to these schools.
Because that's exactly what it was. They had the... online courses that you can, and it's for free, I believe.
Well, yeah, Cal has a ton of stuff that's free, and the Khan Academy is free. Everything but lynda.com, is free.
Right.
And maybe it's to benefit the paid sites. I'm not sure what's behind this, but it's crazy, and and nobody's up in arms about it, or even talking about it to any extent.
I just want to remind everyone, you heard about this months ago. And actually, I think we kind of predicted this would happen, one after the other. This is just the beginning.
Can't have free stuff.
No. New York City, New Jersey bombing. I just have a couple things. I find this troublesome. Very, very.
I have a couple clips. I had the one clip. I have one clip, which unfortunately then I listened to it. You can't hear the guy, but the dad.
Yeah,
the early clips.
I have that.
Where the dad comes out and says, "Hey, he's with you guys," to the FBI.
Yeah.
Somebody asked the dad what's going on. He says the FBI came by. I told him, "Hey, he's with you guys."
He's with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I have. Let me see. Let me see what I have here. This was the report that I think makes that a little more interesting. There's let me see. I think there's two parts to this. I think this was on Bloomberg.
I just want to bring you back, if I can, to one point that Rick Leventhal just made, which I think is where the story may go now in the next 24 hours. We've had two sources now confirmed to Fox News that there was some prior contact between Rahami and the FBI, and it arose out of this domestic dispute. We were told that was some years ago, but in the course of that domestic dispute, the family member made an allegation that he was getting radicalized, and this was pursued by the FBI. And within the last few minutes, I was told that they did interview him in person, and they felt that there was not enough to proceed at that point. Now, to be fair to the FBI, we have seen this in other cases like Boston, but the way our system works is that if there is not enough there to proceed or to go forward, then they cannot leave these people on the radar indefinitely, if you will.
Okay, so FBI is called in because of a domestic dispute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, I know he's getting radicalized. He's getting radicalized.
I want to comment on something she said.
Mm-hmm.
They can't leave these guys on the radar forever.
This is the meme that I'm hearing everywhere. And we heard it with the Orlando bomber, shooter. We can't keep him on the radar. Yeah, not yet, but I think this is going to start changing very soon.
Hold on a second. I don't think it's ever changed. They've had plenty of people that used to have these communists on the radar back in the 50s. They were on the radar for decades. All these guys are on the radar. Once they're on the radar, once you're on the list, you're on the list. They don't, let's stop investigating him.
Well, that's exactly what they said in the Orlando shooting.
Yes, they've been saying this because there's something bullshit about it. They're saying that to get out of their responsibilities, or because they're working for the guy, or they're working together, or who knows why they're saying it. There's no reason. There are laws about wiretaps where you can only get on the tap for a certain amount of time. And this was explored in The Wire itself, that show. But you have to get off after you listening. They don't get into the point. You have to hang up. You got to click in again later. But there's no reason to take anyone off the radar ever. What's with the no-fly list? Do you get bumped off of that too? That's being on the radar.
I understand what you're saying, but I think we need these types of this type of messaging so that we can turn that into, a real legal formal process.
I don't think they need to.
Well, then maybe it has nothing to do with it. But the other thing that's very annoying about this, besides the fact that the guy, put the weak bombs in places that, had shielding, that wasn't necessarily going to, not necessarily blow people's heads off. His other one went off too early. And then they find his notebook with a bullet hole and blood, which was touted everywhere. Come on, that's like the passport on 9/11. It's just since when do we have these props to shop around?
And here's another little anomaly. So they found this. This is an ABC report. I don't think I have my clips. I had to shorten them because they were too long. But they found the guy had done an experimental bomb in his backyard.
Yeah.
And blew it up. And apparently a huge explosion in some guy's backyard.
Uh-huh.
And nobody calls the police. Nobody hears it. What's the deal with that?
We are now learning about the father, his alert to the FBI, and what he once called his own son. And now, of course, the wife being questioned. Was the suspect acting alone? ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross leading us off with new charges just coming in tonight.
Federal officials confirmed tonight that they had been warned about accused bomber Ahmad Rahami, seen in this chilling surveillance tape, allegedly about to plant bombs in his suitcase and backpack. The warnings came from his own father, Mohammed Rahami, who told reporters outside his home today that he met with the FBI in 2014.
And what did you tell them? I don't know if you got a connection with this guy.
But the FBI said today the father later recanted his allegations and the son was never questioned by the FBI.
They found that there was not enough there to continue the investigation.
Wait a minute. That's in contradiction to what we just heard on CNBC. They're saying they never talked to the guy, but CNBC's FBI talked to him and they didn't find anything, had to take him off the list.
They found that
apparently wasn't even on the list.
There was
this report.
Not enough there to continue the investigation.
The father's allegations came after his son's year-long trip to Pakistan, which is now a key to the investigation.
Mm-hmm. And I read the complaints, both the New York and New Jersey complaints against Rouhani. And not your I'm missing a lot of background because what we, of course, want is like we typically see with FBI. Oh, well, we talked to this guy. There's a report out there that they talked to him. That seems pretty obvious. This was, didn't have any of your typical 6-week cycle hallmarks of, we riled him up, told him to do this.
The cycle's been killed by Comey. We don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm just giving you an example of that. So here's. You have any more clips about this, or because I just have a thought?
Do I have a second clip?
I don't know. Let me see. I don't think so. No.
I think I skipped it.
With the big debate coming up on Monday, you would almost think that in the background, the forces are at work, where we have Clinton with Black Lives Matter and Soros creating havoc over, white cops killing black citizens, racism, riots in Charlotte. And then we have Trump, who, I believe has FBI on his side, using their patsies to pop off kitchen cookware everywhere, just to I think to stage what the debate will be about. These are the two main things. Clinton is totally all about Black Lives Matter, and Trump is all about terrorism. So it's just coincidence. Let's just call it coincidence.
Yeah, these events happen right now before the debate.
I think not.
And that was my thought. Like, oh,
now the one thing about yeah, well, that's a paranoid thought that I think could be is well accepted.
Yeah.
But let's look at one other element, which kind of intrigues me. This guy did go to Pakistan for a year, I guess, and he came back with another one of these wives.
Yeah.
This is like the other guy. I guess it was the Orlando bomber, and I think the guy in Los Angeles. He ended up with one of these wives.
It was
women.
It was the other one where the two went in and shot up their colleagues.
Yeah, that's Los Angeles.
San Bernardino. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. He had one of these crazy wives. So these guys go over there and they find some radical woman and they have a couple of kids with the woman, and then the woman decides to talked him into doing this? I mean,
that's possible. That's possible.
Very fishy about this.
That's possible. And then, we had this Tumblr page come out. So, oh, here it is, his manifesto. Like 2 paragraphs of, I hate gays, I hate America. Boom. That was lame. Lame attempt at setting the narrative. I don't think anyone took that seriously. It also dropped off the radar really quickly. So
anyway, it's a very
So really, that's.
I also find it interesting that, which I did. I could have clipped this too, but I'm just going to summarize. It's better.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there's another bomb somewhere. Some doofuses go by and they grab it, grab the luggage because they need something to carry their gym shorts in or something. And they dump the contents of the luggage out, which I guess had another pressure cooker bomb in it.
Yeah.
And then walk off with this thing, and now the police want to get a hold of evidence in it. And so my favorite line was, "There is no chance of being arrested by coming forward."
At this point, you're only a witness. I'm going to call right in. Hello, everybody, and also. You can clearly see who that is. Very, very recognizable. Just call. You're a witness. Sure, I'm on the phone. I did get a clip from CNN. The woman who found another bag with the pressure cooker. A very typical New Yorker.
What was your first impression of that pot?
Like, this is weird. Someone must have thrown out their old garbage. This must have been something a kid was making, or
like
maybe
a kid's science project.
Yeah, or an artist's kinetic sculpture.
Kinetic sculpture?
Yeah, kaboom. What's more kinetic than a bomb?
Why would she use that phrase? I just found that to be interesting.
She's in New York. There's a lot of kinetic sculptures in New York. There's a lot of museum exhibitions that are listed which say kinetic sculpture. And I think she reads the New York Times.
Science project.
Yeah, or an artist's kinetic sculpture.
Because you live in Manhattan, let's face it, and you see some weird trash
I sure do.
on the street. So what was it after you thought, okay, this is a kid's science project, that then turned your mind?
Well, I went on to explore what had happened on 23rd.
I love it. I went on to Explorer because I'm still using Windows 95, apparently.
Did she say that? Wow. That's a catch.
Okay, this is a kid's science project that then turned your mind.
Well, I went on to explore what had happened on 23rd Street. I was milling around with the crowd, but there was a lagging suspicion in the back of my mind that this was a little weird. So I went home again to take a second look.
And there it was still.
It was still there, and I thought it had been thrown out with a bunch of garbage, but when I looked again, I saw that it was debris that was surrounding it, not garbage that someone had thrown out after cleaning up their apartment.
So you did the right thing. You called 911.
I went upstairs and called 911, especially because there had just been a bomb. I went downstairs to meet with the detectives to show them where it was, and they had gotten there and found it, and they saw me coming towards them and said, "Run, get off the block."
That's scary.
Yeah, that was scary. That's when I thought they were taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I thought.
Man, New Yorkers, they're always camera ready. Always weird. Always weird.
Yeah, they're naturals.
Yeah. The only other thing I have in this regard is the Andrew Cuomo. Is he still the governor of New York State? Yeah, Andrew Cuomo. He was on CNN, and there really is only one solution, to how we stop terrorism. We all know what we really need to do.
In New York, but medium-sized cities, small cities all across this country, countries across the globe. I think this in many ways is the new normal, and we're going to have to prepare for it. All right. And the rhetoric isn't going to do it. It's reducing the anger through dialogue and protecting ourselves with intelligent police actions, etc.
Yeah, love. Exactly.
That's what Loretta Lynch said.
Yeah, well, that's the talking point. You have to do it with love. We can fix everything.
Hug a Muslim.
Have you hugged a Muslim today? Back in the 70s, that would have been a pretty funny bumper sticker. All right. So we'll just have to see what pans out, but I don't like it at all. These two events, all kind of being stoked up just in time for whatever the conversation is going to be, and what I think will be one of the highest rated televised broadcasts of our history.
Now, what's it going to be on ABC? I think, or is it NBC? Who's doing it?
I don't know. Doesn't everyone just get to carry it live, or does someone? I guess not. Someone has.
Or maybe it'll be multi-channel. Maybe that's possible.
I know
that Lester Holmes, the NBC guy.
Holt. Isn't it Lester Holt? Lester Holt?
Holmes.
I thought it was Holt.
No, it's Holt. You're right. Holmes. I'm thinking of somebody else named Holmes.
Yeah. John.
Or Sherlock.
Yeah.
He's going to be the moderator, and I think both candidates are worried about the questioning. And I think because Hillary should be happy that it's an NBC guy, because they're all in for Hillary, as we know from the Leaner report. And but they're fearful because everyone seems to think that Matt Lauer was harsh.
Oh, he was. He sucked. He was no good. He didn't fact check on the fly. He didn't ask the right questions. He was bad.
Well, did you know the joke about that? He was harsh against Hillary, but not against Trump.
Right?
Is that you did a segment proving just the opposite, where he had set Trump up and then had facts. He had done fact checking. He had done that. He wasn't.
He had the tweet
just sitting there. Yeah, he nailed him with some back in June 7th, 1443. This happened, and that led to this.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's great.
But they're worried because they think that I guess they expected Matt Lauer to just roll over for Hillary,
right?
Do nothing. But I think it's all a setup just to make it look like NBC is actually going to be objective. I think they're going to go after Trump.
Oh,
I think they're going to go after Trump.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
It would make sense to me.
Hey, Trump finally did something. He almost did it right. One of my biggest pet peeves ever, and I got this clip 20 times from people. We always talk about the president's number one responsibility, and the actual oath to be sworn in for the president of the United States is you swear to defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. But usually it's all, keep the people safe. That is the number one responsibility, which is important, but it's not the number one. You do not swear to keep the American people safe. Although, I guess in an ancillary way, because you will fulfill the duties of commander-in-chief, I guess that kind of means that. But it's really about the Constitution. And this is the clip everyone sent me.
My highest duty as president is to protect our citizens and to uphold the Constitution of the United States.
Not bad. Close. At least he's close. I haven't heard anyone say that.
No, he's the first one. It's actually, I think maybe someone in his campaign is listening to the show because you harp on this.
Yeah, how many years have been harping on it? Almost the entire length of the show, all our years.
Pretty much since the first president said, my duty is to protect the public.
Yeah. You have more, a higher duty. Hillary, on the other hand, is so she's canceling things. She's canceling really big fundraisers.
Eyeballs going every which way.
It's because they're eyeballs. Yeah, exactly. What is it? Let me see. What was it, like $100,000 a plate dinner that it's been postponed.
How can you postpone that?
Yeah.
Well, she must be thinking she's coasting. No.
The excuse is
send in the body double.
Yeah, the excuse is that actually here it is. It was even better than that. If I look at this report, I'll tell you exactly. This was supposed to be this was actually in North Carolina, not in Charlotte, but in North Carolina. And here it is. The contribution levels were described as $100,000, which featured chair reception with Hillary, and then if you want a host reception with Hillary, the price for that is $33,000. Nice. And $5,000 to get preferred seating. And if you just want to be in the back with all the schlubs, $2,700. So she canceled that. But instead, she's making videos and sending them off to people. I think this is for Nevada. And so she's trying to really get all assertive, and maybe this is the Hillary we'll see during the debate. It always sucks, though, when you have a rant and then you mess it up at the end.
And I will fight back against so-called right to work. Right to work is wrong for workers and wrong for America. Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? Well, the choice for working families has never been clearer. I need your help to get Donald Trump's record out to everybody. Nobody should be fooled. He proudly declared himself 100% right to work. He even hired a union-busting firm to break up an organizing campaign at his hotel in Las Vegas, where you are right now. And he built up his wealth by stiffing small businesses and contractors. That goes against everything we stand for as a country. My dad was a small businessman. I'm just happy he never did business with Trump.
Poorly written punchline.
Yeah, very bad. She's not funny.
This could easily be the body double, because this is such a different cadence. It's so completely different in speech pattern. The whole attitude is different.
Well, she has a number of styles. I mean, she has the shouting style where she's got her fingers poking at the air, throwing her right arm out, boom, 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 and she's yelling. And then she's got the and then she looks left and right and left like a robot. She got the robot style. And then this thing is a little different, a little variation. But what she said there, which I think you missed, is she said that she's doing this meeting at a Trump hotel. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I didn't hear that. Did she say Trump hotel, or did you know that?
She says the crappy Trump hotels where they try to bust the union, right, which is where you are right now. That's what she said.
Oh, I thought she said you're in Vegas where you are right now. I don't know if maybe she did mean that. And by the way, what exactly is the controversy with right to work? I thought that was always a good thing. Is that not a good thing now?
You know what it means? Do you have any clue?
That means that no one can stop you from working by some kind of agreement. You always have the right to work. No one can stop you from working.
That's kind of what it means. It also means you can't be forced to join a union, or you can't be forced into a union. Okay. Although if it's a union shop and you have to be in the union to be in the shop, it's like acting. You can't just say, I just want to be an independent actor. You won't get a SAG job.
No.
And so if for all practical purposes, acting needs right to work laws. So you can I don't want to join SAG. I just want to act in this movie.
Yeah. Okay. I got
in other words, I don't want to pay any dues. Mm-hmm.
I got you.
That's what it refers to.
Okay. I'm not against unions. I'm in SAG-AFTRA. And there's ways you can do independent productions without, they have a special clause for that. It's not too bad. Their healthcare sucks, but their insurance plan. Charlie Crist.
That's because they all suck.
No kidding. Former Florida Governor Charlie Crist is running for Congress, and he was on stage making his case. I think it's actually the guy from CNBC who was moderating this nice little gig on the side, and the audience, and this is, I believe, mainly Democrats in the audience, responded to something he said.
I represent. You voting for your party's nominee, Governor?
I am proud of Hillary Clinton. I think she's been a very good Secretary of State, a very good senator from the state of New York. The thing I like most about her is I believe that she is steady. I believe that she is strong. I believe that she is honest. And I look forward to voting for her.
Governor Crist?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's crazy.
That was something.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Let me see. And I just have all these crazy little clips on the sidelines. This Bono was on Charlie Rose. Bono, who I have not liked since 1981. He's a douche. And I would argue that he's more Republican than Democrat, just based on his finances and who he hangs out with. But yeah.
He doesn't play that game. He plays the Democrat game.
He does. I'm just saying what I think.
For the people.
Yeah. And so he was on Charlie Rose. Now, oh, man. He's just a douche. Just listen to this.
Look, America is like the best idea the world ever came up with. But Donald Trump is potentially the worst idea that ever happened to America.
Thanks, Mr. Irish.
Potentially. Could destroy it. Because
destroy it.
Of what we're saying. Because
I like this. because of what we're saying, all those things, because he takes a minute and a half to not say why.
Of what we're saying, because America's not just a country. Ireland is a nice country. Great Britain's a great country. All the rest of it. It's not an idea. America is an idea, and that idea is bound up in justice and equality for all.
Is that the idea of America? I thought it was freedom. Wasn't freedom the American idea?
Freedom and liberty.
Freedom and liberty. He's like equality and justice for all. Huh.
Yeah, well, that's your basic premise. We brought this up on the show before. This was a boiled down. What's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican, or a conservative and a liberal? Not Democrat and Republican, but a conservative and a liberal, because they cross over.
Yeah.
And one was freedom and equality. No, freedom and liberty, and justice and equality. Those are the two different precepts. And freedom and liberty is what the conservatives think is prime, and the Democrats see it as justice and equality.
Which one, on what side do you fall?
And he said justice and equality. So if you're freedom and liberty, you're a douche, according to him.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much of a Republican to me, but okay.
And by the way, Ireland, UK, screw you. You're no good. You're not an idea. You're just a country. I don't see him go back to Ireland.
America is an idea, and that idea is bound up in justice and equality for all. Equality and justice for all, And this...
Where's freedom?
No, it's not in there.
I think of Emma Lazarus. Those lines: "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free."
Now, see, that actually says it right there: to breathe free. But he doesn't get it.
This is America. I mean, this is not from Donald Trump's playbook. And look, I have spent 20 years. Nearly 20 years now, fiercely bipartisan, and I'm going to stay that way. And I have enormous respect for the party of Abraham Lincoln. Some of the greatest workers in the one campaign come from conservative tradition, are Republicans that are very close friends of mine. I don't think he's a Republican.
But what is
I think he's hijacked the party. I think he's trying to hijack the idea of America, and I think it's bigger than all of us. I think this is really dangerous, and I think wise people of conscience should not let this man turn your country into a casino.
A casino? I don't understand. Turn your country into a casino? We love casinos.
We do. We have them everywhere.
That's like a plus. Yeah, even our American Indians, they got casinos. We love casinos. I don't understand why we wouldn't want it to be a full-on casino.
Yeah, we got the stock market.
Yeah.
We're the biggest in the world in that regard.
Hell yeah.
Stock market's a giant casino, let's face it.
I'm going to send you I should have put this on a website. I'm sorry. I'm going to send you a PDF right now through Skype, which I want you to take a look at. This is... now, I believe this to be authentic, but I want you to see the document so you can look at it with me together. This is an internal memo which apparently was leaked from Monmouth University regarding the Monmouth University poll. And this is an election poll. And this resulted in an article in the New York Times who cited this particular poll. And the headline is, oh, Jesus, New York Times. Get away with your ad. White voters keep Trump's hopes alive in must-win Florida. And this is kind of a narrative that we've heard. So it's only white guys. And they cite this poll exclusively. Do you have it open in front of you, the PDF?
I'm looking at it, yeah.
So
I'm questioning it immediately.
You mean questioning the
validity?
Yeah, authenticity of it?
And I would say the reason, well, you could ask my reason. You should say, why?
Why?
Why? You didn't have to be so sincere.
Why, John? Why?
I don't really see universities normally sending out memos like this. By the way, the structure of the memo is not very good.
No.
And if you're going to have, this is going to make you laugh a little bit.
Should I explain first what we're looking at so people just understand?
We're looking at the Monmouth University poll, a memo written from someone to Patrick Murray, and it's a priority message, do not copy, blah, blah, blah. It's got net message, Hillary research.
Well, let me sum it up. In general, what we're reading here is instructions to people who will be taking this, who will be putting this poll out there and calling people. It's a telephone poll. And it's giving all kinds of different ways that they're going to ask the questions in a certain way so that the answers come back with keynotes such as birtherism is backfiring, Trump's unfavorables are climbing, minority voices support Hillary, implying racism, white vote is Trump, white rally.
This is bullcrap.
You think it's bullcrap?
Yeah.
It's damn good.
I have a lot of reasons. The structure of the memo is not a memo structure. Mm-hmm. It's got the bold facing and stuff. It's got phrases like eyes only. Yeah. Really? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted you to see it.
When I saw eyes only. Eyes only.
No, that's why I wanted you to see it. I had my questions, but I knew you would have a better handle on that.
It's not...
Okay, we'll just skip it.
It's not a real memo. Somebody's creation. Somebody created this thing to make it look like the polls are rigged. We know the polls are rigged.
I was going to say the beautiful thing is the polls are actually rigged. This, I guess they tried a little too hard, or not hard enough. I don't know.
It just has to be a little. It's still but terrible, phony memo. Okay. There's no way this is a real memo.
Good. Then we'll move onward. Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, who was unceremoniously fired. Canned. One of our producers sent me a clip from Adam Carolla. Now, Dr. Drew has done lots of shows, podcasts, all kinds of things with Adam Carolla. I think he actually has a podcast still on his network. And, well, I thought this was worth playing.
Yeah, I tried to get with all this Hillary Clinton and all the pneumonia and all this stuff. I thought, well, let's get Drew to call in and just tell us how pneumonia works, what we should be looking out for.
But as HLN people are zapping him and saying, don't say a word! Keep your mouth shut, commie.
Yeah. Here's the New World Order in case anyone thinks it may exist, it may not exist. But... whether it actually exists or doesn't exist, in Drew's mind, he cannot come on this podcast and speak about Hillary Clinton, even in a hypothetical way, or I said I knew he was going to be a puss. I said, just come on and talk about pneumonia. We'll just talk about pneumonia, and then we'll do the Hillary Clinton math. No. Got a couple of deals brewing, and he does not want to risk those deals. Now, there's the perception from Dr. Drew, who's lived in this town and worked in this town for 30 some odd years, that he cannot go. Now, he could come on and tell you that Donald Trump had a baby's arm growing out of his asshole with no problemo, and he would have no difficulty potentially finding work. Yeah. But in his mind, with a couple of these deals pending, not a good idea as a physician to speak about one of the candidates who probably become the president and her medical condition.
It's a huge story.
Day after. It's a huge story.
It's a massive story.
Not going to risk it. Drew has a feeling that he may hurt his career.
No, there you go.
Yeah, I've been on Dr. Drew's side.
Yeah, of course I'm on Dr. Drew's side. He's absolutely right. And did you see the new Celebrity video?
No, that's what I missed. I did hear the Carolla piece, but I didn't miss this.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Well, while I play this, and it's worth listening to because you can...
Is this an ad that Hillary's running in with some border states or something?
No, this is just celebrities who got together who want to help everyone register to vote.
So you're right. It's an ad. It's running in some border states.
So it's savetheday.vote, which is it's a PAC actually, and they've Robert Downey Jr. I mean, there's tons of celebrities in this, and after about 40 seconds, you understand where it's headed.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this country will make one of the most important decisions in its history.
You have a chance.
You have an obligation
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
But that's not true. And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people.
Just a shit ton of famous people.
Repeating how important.
Important.
Important. Important.
Important.
Important.
How important it is. Register.
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 A racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of
And
our
there
society.
it is.
Do the math. Do we really want to give nuclear weapons?
And it just keeps on going. It's really, really, really amazing.
Yeah, let's do some more name calling, people.
Doesn't that prove Dr. Drew's point right there?
Yeah, nails it.
Sadly, he was missing.
Racist, abusive coward.
Sadly, he was missing. He was missing from the video. Dr. Drew should have been in it.
That'd have been funnier.
Yeah. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say, in the morning to you, John C., where the C stands for Celebrity Hillary Endorsement, Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. In the morning to all the ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and all the knights out there.
Indeed. And in the morning to everyone in the chat room, noagendastream.com. Good to have y'all here. In the morning to Neil Campbell, who brought us the artwork for episode 861. It was the Vegetonian Burrito Corporation. Made us both laugh. Yep. Like that a lot. We always have fresh artwork on our shows. We're one of the few shows that do that consistently. And we're proud of that and proud of the work that our artists put into it. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com. Please go upload if you got something. And we always looking for that right after the live stream ends.
Yeah. A couple came in late, I noticed.
Yeah, it always happens.
Generally speaking, I hate to say this, but you've got about 15 minutes. Probably not even that long.
Well, I mean, some people hear it halfway through the show and start working on it, but
you have to start early. That's why. But then the show's so loaded with potential.
Just loaded, John. We're loaded for bear.
So, we're loaded. So we have 2 executive producers and 2 associate executive producers to thank for show 862.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, 862. Correct. You are correct, sir.
Starting with David West, David E. West in Marysville, Washington. $520.52, which is 520.52.
Oh.
A lot of 52s going on. It's maybe for your birthday. I don't know, but he sent a note in. That was a check.
Mm-hmm.
Dear John and Adam, I was hit in the mouth by my friend, coworker, and carpool buddy George around show 759. So this guy's coming in early here for a lot of these guys. I started the show 700, 602, and I finally got around to donating. Around 7:59 when you were discussing Cluck Boy, and I couldn't believe how on target you were and how I wasn't hearing this anywhere else in the news. It's the show.
Yeah.
Your analysis is definitely original, would not be possible if it weren't for the value for value model you employed. This is absolutely correct. It's the Dr. Drew story.
That's right.
Proves it. First of all, I need a de-douching because it's been almost a year since I started listening.
All right.
You've been de-douched.
Secondly, I want to wish Adam a belated happy birthday, hence the donation amount of 520.52.
Thank you very much.
I would like to wish my beautiful hot wife a happy birthday. You got your pencil?
Oh, yes, I have my number 2 pencil.
Hers is on September 24th. Age unknown.
Okay, and this is from David E. West. Hot girlfriend. What's her name?
Hot wife.
Hot wife, sorry.
His girlfriend's next month.
Hey-oh. What's his hot wife's name?
He doesn't say.
And her birthday is when?
September 24th.
Okay, got it on the list.
Can I get some jobs karma and the following jingles?
Jeez.
Okay. And before I tell you what those are, I want to also mention, he says at the end, 73s from your fellow ham, KE7FXU.
Oh, 73s, Kilo 5, Alpha Charlie.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay, jobs karma.
Can I get some jobs karma and the following jingles?
Hey.
Can you see that juice? Little girl, yay. And then the scream.
Okay, can you see that juice? Let me see. There's so many of them. Yeah, little girl, yay, you said?
Yeah, and then that horrible scream.
Oh, the scream. Okay, hold on. See, normally when I have the note in front of me, I can work ahead a little bit.
This is true.
I'm just.
And if I was actually on the ball, because these checks come in yesterday, I should sit down and write a memo.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Don't even threaten that shit.
Oh my gosh. Can you see that juice?
Yay! Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
No worries. We got it done.
Nick Balson in Richmond, Virginia, 345.67. No note, no email that I could find. You may have gotten something in your box. You might want to look.
I'll take
but I assume that he either has nothing to say or he will tell us later. But he's an executive producer for a show.
Let's see, Nick Balson.
867.
No, I don't have.
BALSON.
I do not think I have anything from him. No.
Onward to Kevin Johnson, KJ, in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, it's not the same KJ I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the mayor of Sacramento. Thanks for the best podcast in the universe, BPITU. This donation makes the final push to knighthood.
Yes.
I'd like a shout out to Josh for propagating the formula in the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Josh.
Josh. Please knight me Sir Johnson, defender of the blue line.
Okay. We will do that. Okay. Looking forward to that. Definitely. That's it.
Oh, and there wasn't I thought there was 2 associate executives, but no, it's just the one. So that's it. Short list today, very short list. And I want to thank you, folks. We do have just a couple of days before the next show, so hopefully we'll do a little better.
Did you get a present from Sir Crovados?
What was it?
Dear Adam, just wanted to share some of my house-made apple brandy with you.
No, I did not. That.
I've heard you are not much of a drinker, so be careful. This last batch is a bit stronger than what the label states. Hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy the show. Long live the best podcast in the universe, Sir Crovados. And I will be sampling that this evening.
I did not get that. What I did get was this.
What's that?
This is the Hillary laughing pen. And it's actually a very funny little object.
Is it huge?
I don't know who sent it because it came from Amazon. Sorry.
Is it huge? Is it a really huge pen, like really thick, or is it what does it look like?
No, it's a kind of an oversized, not too oversized. It's usable, and it's got a big head on the top of it where the eraser would be if it was a pencil. With Hillary's head, and there's a little button you push, and it makes this noise.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I think these are available. What's funny is the pen itself is hilarious, but there's a bunch of stuff on the back of the packaging. I should have to read a couple of these. It says there's like a list. It's like why would you buy this pen? So it's pro and con.
Oh, cool.
So pro is Hillary has a great belly laugh from DNC chair Terry McAuliffe. Con, isn't that frightening? The radio TV host Sean Hannity. Pro, I think the laugh has actually served as a pretty effective tool. Democratic strategist Chris Lahan. Con, some say Hillary's laugh is as overdone as Al Gore's kiss. The CNN woman. Wow. Pro, Mike Allen says it's a guffaw, has been very effective. Now, and then the con from Frank Rich of the New York Times. Now, Mrs. Clinton is erupting in a laugh with all the spontaneity of an alarm clock buzzer. Anyway, it goes on. It's a nice item. People should maybe. I think it's a collectible for the election.
I'll have a look on Amazon. I think it is a collectible. I'd love to have one of those. Yeah. Before we go, you were searching something in your email, and that triggered a thought. And I had this note written down for 2 weeks. We need to talk about your squirrel mail guy.
Oh yes. Yes, he sent out an announcement about this. I want to. This is not a good announcement. I don't like doing it. I'm going to do it.
Explain the background of him.
Mark Perkel is an old timer in the business. He did Mark's Mail, and he's done a bunch of stuff over the years. He's a big during the era of Novell. He was like a hot shot in that scene, and he does a mail. He does a junk email filter.com. He's got some patentable technology, I think. And he's been doing my email for years.
This is the guy who makes sure you get no spam.
I'm
famous. You're famous.
No spam. This is the get no spam guy. Get no spam. This is the guy. And everyone knows it was kind of a meme for a while. And he's got stage 4 lung cancer, and he's going to die in 6 months.
Yeah.
Now,
Why don't you just ease us into it, John? Thanks.
I thought I'd ease you right into it.
Yeah.
He has no symptoms. He's asymptomatic, and it was only a fluke that he found out about it.
Wait a minute. But
he did find out about it.
What is asymptomatic? This is interesting.
That means he's asymptomatic.
So he has no symptoms, yet he's going to die?
Yes.
So
this happens. People have a lot of asymptomatic illnesses. Normally, your hand would fall off when you had leprosy, but you got leprosy, but no symptoms, which makes no sense.
Huh.
But yeah, he's asymptomatic, so he's fine and he's doing his job, and he handles a lot of websites, mostly nonprofit websites. He does. I believe he's still in charge of the EFF website. He has his own server system, and he does a lot of hard, basic grunt work. He is willing to train anyone who wants to take over his business. So any unemployed coder out there or programmer.
Dude named Ben.
Any dude named Ben out there, and he'll teach you what he's doing with this spam filtering. I've always believed Mark's business is a sleeper because he never was into marketing. He's always made just enough money to just get by, and that's what he did. But now he's going to die. I would say probably not as quick as he might think, but he's planning for earlier than later so he can get the transfer done because he has to train somebody to do the system that he has established. CTYME.com is the base URL.
And you say that, and it reminded me of a story one of our producers sent, who I believe is involved. Do I have to keep some stuff anonymous about Spam House? Did you see that?
I don't remember it.
So Spam House, a very famous resource that you, of course, running my own mail server. I've used this for years. Spam House is they have a database, and you can connect to the database, and you can get it'll identify spam as you run it through your system. And what's the name of this guy? I forget his name, who's running Spam House. But anyway, our producer, who works for an automobile company, they send out a lot of emails. He says, we don't send out spam. It's only to a list that people have opted into. And all of a sudden, their emails started getting trapped by Spam House. Now, our producer says, car dealer's not the best at making creative. So, yeah, maybe we had too many images, but all the email addresses were obtained with permission. We don't allow the upload of purchase lists. These are people who first inquired at our dealerships. Nonetheless, we got on Spam House's radar when we finally jumped through the 11D7 hoops to get in touch with somebody because they were being blocked. They told us we needed to hire their consultant to help us with our email problem. How much do you think the email consultant charges per day?
Too much.
Just give me a guess, man.
Well, a day rate should be at the most $3,000.
Yeah, $30,000
a day.
Yes. So they.
Why are you using these douchebag service?
Who, me?
Yeah, you said.
No, of course I'm going to take them off. Are you kidding me? These are a-holes. I didn't know this. This is news. I thought Spam House was kind of like a good guy. And our producers talked to their two biggest competitors. Same thing. Extortion. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in email consultancy fees. So
extortion. That's a good story. I should write this up in PC Magazine. I didn't know it was this bad.
Yeah, I'll send you
the $30,000 figure is a little high. So whoever wrote that note into us, send me another copy, just so I can talk to you about it.
Anyway, back to your guy. I wanted to give.
But Mark, this is not what I'm advising anyone doing with Mark's system.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get it out.
No, I know. I understand. Mark's an honest guy, and he doesn't do crap like that. And he's like a great guy, and he needs to have somebody take over his system. So somebody out there, we have enough listeners worldwide, although it should be somebody in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
We have enough people that, or you either know someone or you could do it, or somebody's looking for work, or they want to have a little hobby that's more than a hobby. It's like a well-paying job that you're in total control of. Just send me an email, john@dvorak.org, and put in the headline Mark Perkel in the subject line so I can spot it. And we'll see if we can make something work, because I'm screwed if this doesn't get moved over in a lot of ways.
Who cares about Mark dying? Who cares about that?
I feel
my email, my spam.
But I'm totally screwed if he goes, because I won't find another system this good.
I already have offers coming in. Who want to do this.
The system that he has is fantastic. He's a really good guy and he does good work. and he is except for his thing with a squirrel. He is just a fantastic guy, and I'm actually hoping he gets over this. I mean, maybe being asymptomatic is something that indicates you get over. I don't know.
Well, the only thing we can do on this,
he's a good researcher. He doesn't think he's got much hope, but he's we'll give him some love.
Well, we need some F cancer karma. That's what we need for this guy. That's what we do on this show.
You've got karma.
There you go. Wish him well, of course. All right. Thank you to our two executive producers, our one lone associate executive producer. A little weak today in general. It'll be a short segment later on, and we thank everyone $50 or above, usually for reasons of anonymity. And again, thank you. These are real titles that you get as executive producer or associate executive producer. And, use them anywhere that it might be recognized, like at the Emmys, which we should talk about after we tell you to go out there and do some very important work of propagating our formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave. Oh, I forgot something.
Dvorak.org/NA.
That's right. For our show coming up on Sunday. Oh, righty. Hey, I saw you have a clip about the Skittles thing. I wouldn't mind talking about that. I
have two clips about the Skittles thing.
Okay, now I heard about the Skittles thing. First,
it's very well explained in the clip.
All right.
So we don't really have to even set it up. But this is contrasting clips because Democracy Now!, even though I have a lot of problems with them in their biases, and sometimes their reporting is just reading off of a sheet. They did an absolute perfect presentation of what happened. I mean, they also they were all excited about it, but at least the information is correct. And then we'll play the ABC report, which is like, what? It doesn't even make any sense what ABC said.
Okay, Democracy Now! First.
Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., has sparked outrage after he tweeted a graphic reading, quote, "If I had a bowl of Skittles and I told you just 3 would kill you, would you take a handful? That's our Syrian refugee problem," unquote. Along with the graphic, he tweeted the words, "This image says it all." In response, Skittles' parent company, Wrigley Americas, said in a statement, quote, "Skittles are candy. Refugees are people. We don't feel it's an appropriate analogy. We'll respectfully refrain from further commentary, as anything we say could be misinterpreted as marketing," unquote.
I love that line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Now, a couple of things here. One, I thought it was a reasonable analogy. If you're going to make that argument,
it also hit home for me because for 7.5 years I promoted the crap out of Skittles on MTV. It was like the #1 advertiser. Taste the rainbow.
I like Skittles, but I thought it was a very good and thoughtful analogy. And those things are not easy to develop. You can't really come up with stuff that actually makes some sense. And, oh, yeah, I get it now. In terms of I get it now. That's what the idea is. Everyone's offended because Skittles was thrown into the mix, which everyone loves Skittles and they don't want to. And it does sound like the whole thing is a promotion for Skittles at the end of the episode. And I would say the woman, or I think it was a woman, the PR department of Skittles, Wrigley, or whoever it is, that was a marketing commentary, so let's just leave it at that. Right. But meanwhile, this thing's gotten blown out of control, and so we have a report from ABC who is really just off the rails. And this last week, it makes me wonder if they're switching sides because of some of their reporting. But this is like doesn't have any. It's just terrible.
David Wright, thank you. Meantime, also tonight in the race for the White House, word that a former Republican president, George H.W. Bush, could be voting for Hillary Clinton. Also, Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., causing a firestorm after sending a tweet comparing Syrian refugees to a bowl of poisonous Skittles, asking, "Would you take the chance?"
Oh, that wasn't even the best deconstruction of it. this is what was circling on the face bag, started by The Intercept, I might point out, Naomi Lachance. You ready for this?
Okay.
Donald Trump Jr.'s tweet comparing Syrian refugees to Skittles has deep roots. Oh, yes. The concept dates back at least to 1938 in a children's book called Der Giftpilz, or The Toadstool, in which a mother explains to her son that it only takes one Jew to destroy an entire people. Oh, yes. We're back to Hitler, everybody. The book's it gets better. The book's author, Julius Streicher, also published a newspaper that Adolf Hitler loved to read, Der Stürmer. The newspaper published anti-Semitic, anti-Catholic, anti-communist, anti-capitalist propaganda. In 1933, soon after Hitler took power, Streicher used his newspaper to call for the extermination of Jews. And here's it. Trump's tweet has clear parallels to Streicher's children's book, where a boy named Franz... It gets better. Where a boy named Franz learns about the Jews from his mother. Quote, however they disguise themselves, or however friendly they try to be, after affirming 1,000 times their good intentions to us, one must not believe them. Jews they are, and Jews they remain. For our Volk, they are poison. Franz says, oh yes, Mommy, like the poisonous mushroom. Yes, my child, just a single poisonous mushroom can kill a whole family. So a solitary Jew can destroy a whole village, a whole city, even an entire Volk. And that has been racing around the face bag.
About digging deep.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
And I'm thinking, so if we can't use that analogy, can we say one bad apple? Is that also anti-Semitic?
No. It's about killing Jews if you say one bad apple.
Anti-Semitic. Meanwhile, the point is, if you got people coming in, it's hard to vet them. And Kirby, I don't know why they let him out. They let him out of the State Department. He went on Fox and Friends.
We feel good that it's done appropriately, it's done thoroughly, that the vetting is good. And the president has talked about the fact that we're going to up the number of total refugees to more than 100,000 for fiscal year 17. I wouldn't debate the fact that there's the potential for ISIS terrorists to try to insert themselves, and we've seen that in some of the refugee camps in Jordan and in Turkey, where they're trying to insert themselves into the population. Right. But again, the vetting process, while not perfect, is very, very stringent. And it can take almost up to 2 years.
No, he kind of said, yeah, it happens.
That actually begs the question. If you have, why bother vetting at all if none of this is, if this is all about Jews? Just let them all come over. Why do you need to vet unless what the analogy says is true? In other words, if the analogy is not correct, why would you vet at all?
Wait a minute. Run that by me again. What exactly are you saying?
He is saying you got a big pile of Skittles, and there's 2 bad ones in there. They're poisonous.
Yeah, poison.
Is that a possibility?
Yes. According to Kirby, yes.
That's what I'm saying. That if that wasn't a possibility, and meaning the analogy is accurate.
Meaning Kirby is an anti-Semite.
Exactly. That's what it means.
Nailed it.
Kirby and The Intercept, for that matter, are a bunch of Jew haters.
It's really.
But, okay.
I found it to be unbelievable.
Well, that you're reading from The Intercept would be clip of the day.
Yeah, but you
should just have Tina read it, and then clip it, and then put it on the show,
and just put some sounds behind it. It's like, yeah, exactly. I think that would actually work.
So this is what's going over the face bags.
Yeah.
So the comment about the Skittles means that Trumps are Jew haters. Well, I'm going to bring, okay.
Come on.
I don't have the clips to back this up, but I've got some clips.
Taste the rainbow, John. Come on, bring it on.
I got some good stuff that I'll bring up in the next show.
Oh, okay. You're gonna keep us in the dark.
Yes, because I need to get the material first, so I don't. It's not going to be one of those never ending. When is that going to happen?
Okay.
What happens when that happens?
Yeah,